I have worked in animal rescue for 20 years as a volunteer, an advocate, and a foster mama, but I was in no way ready to adopt a forever animal when I found Beezus. I was still healing from the loss of my last animal kid 2 years prior. I travel, I surf, I have a very on-the-go lifestyle. But for some reason, I was perusing the Adoptables page of Cat Alliance Sanctuary here in the Pacific Northwest and immediately tuned in to Beezus' profile. It seemed like destiny. So before I knew it, I was contacting the sanctuary director the next morning and chatting with her about Beezus and about my lifestyle and whether they would be good together. The director truly believes that Beezus fit that bill. And so I went out to adopt her, and I had a surf trip coming up in a few weeks, so I wouldn't be able to take her home for a few weeks. So I thought for sure that would be an obstacle. And it wasn't. The director really believed that we should be together and said that she would lovingly hold on to Beezus until I was ready to bring her home. It definitely seemed like destiny. Beezus' story is a heartbreaker. She came in from a hoarding case from California with 40 other animals. She lived her whole life in a dark basement in a cage with painfully infected eyes, and that's 5 years now, until finally an angel came to save them, and an angel found them. There were a lot of people who worked together to bring them all up here to Oregon for medical care and adoption. The Cat Alliance Sanctuary nursed her back to health, but the infection that she had was so deep, Beezus had to have her eyes removed. Now, without pain though, this girl has soared. She could care less that she can't see. She's so curious, courageous, inquisitive, and spunky. I thought she was a kitten because if she could, she'd play all day long. We talk throughout the day. She really just wants to be in the company of humans. And when she gets outside, she talks and talks as if to say, "This is my best life. I love it. Thank you."
Yes. Do you love it? Do you love it outside? Is it your favorite?
Her favorite game is tag. If she can entice you into chasing her into a game of tag, she will. No one can believe she's blind. Her lack of fear is really incredible. The cutest thing is when she sniffs people or things out. I mean, come on, a little kitty sniffing is adorable. But she's really just like my little cat dog. The day I brought her home, though, she suffered a seizure. It was pretty devastating for both of us. I thought it might have been from fear since the sanctuary hadn't witnessed any, so of course I thought, I can't keep her because of my on-the-go lifestyle. But I was already so in love with her. The next morning, I reluctantly took her back the next day, thinking it would be in her best interest. And then I sat in my van and bawled my eyes out. That whole day I cried. The next morning I called and said I didn't know if I was doing the right thing, but I knew I couldn't be without her. I went back, and to everyone's delight, Beezus came home with me for good. Unfortunately, 3 weeks later, she had another seizure, and this time it was definitely scary. We ended up in the emergency room. But man, this resilient girl came out okay. It was traumatizing for me since I'd had a previous animal kitty die in a seizure. But for some reason, Beezus just makes me relax into the scary stuff and know that however it goes, it's gonna be okay. What matters is that we're here now, and she's gonna live her life to the fullest, every second of every day, out of that basement and out of that cage. So now I have her on medication, and I'd really like to change that, but until I have more answers, I'm not willing to let her go through that again. Her infection was so deep and lasted for so many years, I have to wonder if there's some kind of correlation. I'm hoping that I find a fantastic neurologist that can help me get to the bottom of it. After everything she's been through, I do get mad that she has to go through more, but she definitely doesn't seem to care. As long as she can feel the grass on her paws, breathe the fresh air, eat the good food, be in the company of humans, and have a game of tag every day, she's the happiest girl in the world. Beezus is now the co-host of my podcast, which is all about being wild, unfiltered, and spreading unconditional love. She's known as Beezus the Brave. She's the perfect match. She'll cuddle up on my guests' laps, making them feel safe and comfortable. She's a natural therapy kitty. She even goes on location with me. Her level of exploration out in the world is uncanny. I hope that she becomes a spokes kitty for special needs cats and how special they actually are, for animal rescue and adoption, but most of all, I hope she helps people have the courage to report animal abuse. If you see something, take action. There are people that want to help you. Reach out to rescue groups, community, social media. I promise that you will find help and not have to go it alone. Beezus had an angel that spoke up and changed the lives of 40 animals, along with the lives of 40 people who now get to experience their profound joy and love of life. She's my girl, and I barely remember a time without her. And I'm grateful for every day that we have together. We're gonna definitely be living them to the fullest. As a foster mama and an animal rescue advocate, I've seen a lot and been through a lot, but this is love. Unconditional love comes in the furriest of forms. So thank you for being a part of the change and creating a better world.